Okay, welcome. Chris here with the trades. Back with another list here for the week moving forward. Got a number of great setups that I'm looking at from my criteria, from my list of stocks that I go through, which is quite extensive. I'm looking at 9 plays for the week ahead, 9 plays that look good for this week. I'll see where, of course, where we open on Monday, but I've actually got more than 20 that fit my criteria. I'm just going to go through these couple that look okay to me. We're looking at PBR at the moment. This is the first one on my list. But before we get to that, let's take a look and take a look see here at SPY, the market. Okay, so SPY's obviously been on an upward trend. The market's been moving upwards. It's going to zoom in, see where we open on Monday. Just for SPY, of course, if it opens above these highs, I'll be looking for some continuation. But of course, we are very extended. Prefer an opening below the close on Friday, maybe a test back up into the close or previous highs before the move back down. That's what I'm looking at for SPY on the market, which I do trade. But looking at the first one on my list, PBR. Okay, so I'm looking at stocks here, first and foremost, that are strong, bullish stocks, look good for a long-term hold, look good for as investments potentially. Now I'm looking to trade these particular stocks that fit that criteria first. So I'm looking for a pullback, a natural pullback. That's what we're seeing here on PBR, back into some level of support. You can see an overall bullish trend. I like this stochastic down nice and low. Looks like it maybe wants to curve and move back up. So we'll see where we open on Friday. But I am definitely interested on this one, risk wise, from the close on Friday down to this level of support, potentially 4%. I'd be a buyer probably down at least down into this low from this wick back here. Give it 6 or so percent. The upside looks good to me if we can move up into these levels here, 6, 7, 8%. Start taking some profit up into these gaps as they if they of course fill on the way back up. So PBR definitely something on my list. Going to take a look at that one day, see where we open. Also on the list is ET, Energy Transfer. Again, a nice bullish trend. This is a nice strong stock. First and foremost, it's been coming down, testing these levels and bouncing and moving back up again as well here. So we've got a pullback, a nice sharp move down. That's what I like to see. I like to see a move down on an otherwise upward trend, and that's what I'm seeing here on ET. Risk down into this level of support, 3 or so percent. Of course, I'd probably be a buyer down into these lows here, 5, 5.5%. Give it some room. Upside potential is nice, 5, 6% up into these highs. Start taking profits around here, I would say, if it wants to move up quickly. But I am interested to see it come down a little further, get a little bit of a better entry, sort of scale into this one with a potential move back up. So as well, I'm looking at CF, very similar kind of a thing. Overall upward trend. This is a strong stock, from my opinion, on the fundamentals. So I'm going to see if it wants to test these levels where it's come down previously and bounced. I'm going to see what it wants to do. I like to see the stochastic nice and low. I see that here on Friday's close. Looks like it had some nice earnings. So we'll see where this one wants to go. CF risk wise, I'm going to be down into at least this level. I'm going to be a buyer into 5 or 6%. Give it some room to move down if it wants to do that. And then for the move back up, looking to take profits up into the 6, 7% range, up into these ranges here, 10, 11. And if it wants to break and get up into all-time highs, 20%. So I'm looking at this one. I like CF as well. See where we open on Monday. Next on the list here is Yelp. Yelp had an interesting Friday. It shot straight back down, came back up, hit this level of support down here, and moved back up. So I'd be looking for a continuation on the upside here on Yelp. Of course, you never know. It could, like any of these, it could just simply just fail and come on down. If that happens, then I'm looking to get out. Risk down into this level, about 8% or so. Pretty wide. That's a lot for me, I would say. But that's just what the chart is saying. I don't make the trade plans; the charts do. So coming down, I'd like to see a movement down into this level. I'd be a buyer down into this low here, this wick. Though I'd rather see just a straight move straight back up, a continuation really on Monday. So I'd be looking at this off the hop on Monday, see where we open up. If it's flat, very interested. If it comes up and starts up high here or pushing up into highs, if it just gaps up, probably less interesting to me, and I'd be less interested in it. There is a gap here. I'd be looking to see if it wants to fill that gap. That's 5%. But if it gaps down and it's still within this range, very interested to see if it wants to grab some support, some buyers, and for the move back up. into these ranges, 10, 8%. So that's nice. Also, ETN is the next one on my list. If I can bring it up. ETN. Okay. This one's very interesting. It's overall bullish. It's come down, hit these levels, these natural level of supports that we're seeing on this sort of green band on the chart, and that's what I'd expect to see. Stochastic hits the low point and it bounces and it'll move back up. Seeing that again, of course, now we're testing three, four times potentially. At some point, like any of these, they're going to break and break trend and start moving down at least temporarily. But this one and the ones that I'm talking about now, these look good to me. I also see a divergence, right? I see a sort of a uptrend here on the chart, but on the stochastic, it's the definite downtrend. So for one, so on the one hand, that's good. That to me signals a bullish trend. On the other hand, it tested back here, pushed up, failed, came back down. And is it going to keep going up or is it going to just roll over? This last candle on Friday looks a little sketchy. I can see it coming back down a little further just based on that one candle. Risk down into this level here, about 5% or so, and that's pretty good. We got these highs, we got these wicks. We do have a gap down here though, so I'd be looking potentially for it to maybe come down that far, but that's pretty wide. I'd really like to see it just hold this level and move up. That would be pretty nice. That'd be another 5 or 6% up into this range. See where we open, but very interesting to me. All right, next here, BWXT. I like this one again. Overall bullish trend. It's got a lot of movement here. This chart is deceiving. Up into these levels is 12%. Up into these highs here. These recent highs 17%. So this looks good, right? This is it's bounced off of this level here a few times. Again, is it going to keep rolling over and come back down and fail potentially? That would be giving this thing about a risk to about 10% potentially. I'm probably not interested in doing that, and I'm probably not going to do that. Um, but that's where the chart is saying the risk is. I'd like to see it hold this level here, 1 or 2%. That would be nice for the move back up, start taking profits into this range here, 9-10%, and maybe hold some. As always, hold some, see if it wants to keep going. So BWXT, very interesting to me. Okay, SYM as well, a nice sharp move down on Friday into this level of support, found some support, wicked, and moved back up. So will it continue? To me, this looks like a good setup. I like this. I like to see it test this trend. As you see, it was moving down, popped up, didn't have the nuts to keep coming, and then it came down. Now it's turning bullish, at least on the chart, by this color dynamic. I like to see the first test of this natural level of support. That to me is a good deal because potentially if it wants to move and turn bullish and run, this would be the start of the run, right? This would be the start of the bullish trend if trend is in fact changing. And to me, that is a very compelling and interesting idea because here we are with this particular stock. It's bullish. It's potentially moving up, then moving sideways, breaking trend, and now turning bullish. I'm interested. 2 or 3%, even down into these lows, only, 10, 12%. I mean, the chart is deceiving. On the other hand, if it wants to take some momentum here and find some support and start moving, we could see some nice gains up into these levels also 10, 20%, 15% potentially just up into these highs. So very interested in this one. I like this setup. See where we open on Monday. APG also on the list here. Okay, so overall bullish trend. It's been going for a while. Tried to break, didn't quite happen. Started moving back up again. First test of this new level of support, having changed the dynamic of this chart and these trends and these colors, which indicates now a potential move up, right? Like we saw back here, a long-term trend. This would be the start of it if in fact it's ready to do that. I'd love to see a flat open on Monday, start making these moves up into 7 or 8%, up into these highs of 12%. I'd be a buyer probably down into this level here where we had a little bit of a gap to fill. It's only 3, perhaps even 4%. So I'm liking this setup. The concern here is that it did test. It did look like it was moving and catching some momentum going up, but then it rolled back over, and here we come. So could it fail here? Very likely. I mean, this might be the end of it. It might be turning south, but this is a strong stock fundamental wise. It's good. I know that. So I'm interested in this chart. This is saying To me, this is my setup. This is what I'm looking for. So this doesn't get better than this. For me, the risk is super low and the potential is high in my mind as I see it. And finally, I'm looking at FN here. Long-term trend on the upside. Again, it's tested a few times, kept on moving back up. Is this another opportunity to find an entry point for the move back up even further, or is it the end of this trend? It very well could just break the trend, change direction, and head south pretty quickly. But this chart is telling me otherwise. It's telling me this is a good setup. So I'm going to see where we open on Monday. I'd be a buyer down into this range for sure. That's pretty wide, but that's what the chart is saying. Going to have to do it. So I'm going to start in slow, be looking to increase my position slowly over time and improve my entry price for the move back up. Potentially, this has a nice range on it. As much as that risk is wide, the potential is also pretty wide. So looking to see if maybe this thing wants to move in the right direction, continue in its overall trend. But we never know. And that's what's so fun about it to me. We never really know. It's an educated guess based on the chart, based on the information that we're seeing. Happy trading.